Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to solve sum and differences of the two numbers in HackerRank using C languages. So first let's understand the question. What's the task? Your task is to take two numbers in int data type and two numbers in float data type. Then declare four variables, two of int data type and two of float data type. Okay, then read the lines of the input and then use the operation function. So we are having the total three steps that we're going to do. You have to read two integers and two floating point numbers from the input. Second, perform addition and subtraction of these numbers. Then print the result in the specified format. So what are the detailed steps? Let me just explain you the detailed step. So first step in writing a C code for this sum is declare the variables. So what the question said us to do? Two integer variables and two float variables. Second step is to use you have to read the input. So you're going to use scanf functions to read the integers and one more scanf functions to read the float. Okay, so there are going to be two scanf functions in this question. Then third, we are going to perform the operations, calculate the sum and the differences of the two integers, and then again we're going to calculate the sum and differences of the two float data types. Okay, then you're going to print the result, print the sum and differences of the integer and print the sum and differences of the float. Point to be noted, we are going to do it rounded to one decimal point. Okay, you can see here print the sum and difference both integers separated by space and sum and difference of the both floats scale to one decimal place separated by space on the second line. So this is the question. You can see two inputs 10 4 addition for 14 6, right? Sum is for 10 14 and difference is 6. So how we're going to write is we're going to first let me just write the code and then explain you in detail how we got into this. Declaring the two int variables a comma b and then float variables. Let's take x comma y. Then read the you have to read the integers from the input. So it's going to be percentage d comma and a comma and b and b. Okay, it's and. Let's just scan. Copy this. Enter. So scanf, we're going to use the float function percentage f x and y. Now let's calculate the sum and the differences. Int sum of integer that's equals to a plus b. Then what's the difference? Int difference of integer that's a minus b. For the float sum of float is x plus y and float difference of float is x minus y. So what we did, we calculated the sum and differences of both integer and float. Now it's time to print the differences, sum and differences of the both integer and float. So what you're going to do is printf percentage d comma and sum of int. You're not so you can't use the and function because not taking, you're printing the values. So sum of int comma difference of int. Enter. Now for float function. So what was the point that we mentioned? We are going to round it up to one decimal. So for that, how you're going to write is you're going to do as percentage dot, point 1 f is percentage point 1 f, because you have to round it to one decimal. So that's why if they ask for 2, you can write point 2 like that. Okay. Sum of float, comma difference of float. Enter. 0. Okay. I hope it's correct. Let's run and check. Oh, okay. So we got 1466. Yeah. Okay, we are getting the wrong output over here. Let's just check what's the problem. It should be in all should be in different lines. Okay. Because they had mentioned everything should be in a should be separated by spaces on the second line. What we did is we took everything in one line, so we got the wrong output at first. You can see the right output over here. Okay. So I'll now explain the code in detail. I'll explain each line how and why did I take that specific step. Okay. So now hash include std dot I stdio dot h. What it does is this includes the standard input and the output library that is necessary for printf and scanf functions. Then int main. So this is the main function where the execution of the program begins. So in C, the execution of the program begins from here. So you're going to use the function int main. Then why did we take int a and b? We are declaring the two integer variables, right? A and b, and float x comma y to declare two float variables x comma y. It's not that all floats are having x, y, z like that. No, we have taken that value. You can also change as int as x, y and float as a, b, any variable you like. Okay, then scanf percentage d, we have used this to read the two integers from the input, and you're going to store them in the value a and b. Percentage d, what it does, it reads the two integers from the input and then it stores in that variable a and b, right? What is the function? What does percentage d? It's a format specifier for integers. And a and b, these are nothing but these are memory addresses of the variables where the input values will be stored. So same thing for scanf percentage f, you can see, and x and y. What it does, it reads the two floating point numbers from the input and store them in the variable x and y. And same thing, percentage f, it's the format specifier for float. Okay. So then you're going to calculate. What was the next step? We calculated the sum and differences. Okay, we declared the sum underscore int in this step itself. We didn't. If you want, you can also take here. You can declare sum underscore int over here also. But we did it here. That is also not an issue. You can do it later or before. Then we calculated the sum. Then we printed the result. Printf, what it does is it prints the sum and difference of the integers. And same thing, why did we took point 1? Because they had mentioned in the question that we had to scale the decimal to a round of 1. So that's why. And most importantly, return 0. What does return 0 does? It does is it is to indicate that the program ended successfully. So what it does is it specifies that it indicates that the program has ended successfully. So that's why we use return 0. So thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll be making more such videos on HackerRank. And don't forget to watch all the videos. I'm making each and every sum. I'm solving each and every C, Python, and problems from the HackerRank. You can watch the videos. Thank you.